What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on what shorts did, and surprisingly, what analysts are assuming for SoFi's upcoming Q1 earnings. So I'm going to go over all that, but first make sure you hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, the market was really shook by A, GDP, and B, somewhat of Meta's earnings. But regardless, you can kind of see SoFi did fight back very well. So it did close 0.23% in the red, but after hours is continuing its nice momentum. And even more so, Google and also Microsoft had some pretty good earnings, so that's going to roll over into tomorrow, and really help the broader market. So maybe SoFi could have a pretty epic day, last trading day before their earnings. So we'll just have to wait and see. On a side note though, you do have PCE coming out tomorrow, as you can kind of see first thing. So that could once again cause a lot of volatility, but based on Google's earnings, I don't know even if the PCE is flat, if not even slightly negative. I have a weird feeling just the tech companies unveiling their earnings recently, that might actually propel it and far exceed the PCE, but that's just my interpretation. Today there was no news associated to SoFi. There was a couple of Form 4s that was submitted after hours yesterday. I did bring this up in my pre-market video just on how one of them was NOTO, the other one was a corporation, and it did show them kind of selling out their Series 1 redeemable preferred stock. In my opinion, this is kind of nothing. They already did disclose on April the 22nd that they were going to be selling this, so it's nothing really crazy in my opinion. So no real reason to buy SoFi nor sell it. It's just, it is what it is. And plus, on a side note, this kind of note right here, it shows that Anthony didn't sell any of the common stock. Obviously it correlated with this, so even better in my opinion. But beside the point, there's one thing that I just wanted to share with you before I go over options as well as shorts. There was this. So Anthony did a tweet just saying, my 2 cents, it's normal to see financial goals vary, blah, 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 and whatever else. But as you can kind of even see, Ken did circle this, my 2 cents. So obviously speculation, people are saying like, hey, does that mean SoFi's earnings per share is actually going to be 2 cents? Like a lot of speculation. And oddly enough, when I was looking today, it changed. So as you can kind of see, as I've brought up in the past, in fact, that when it comes down to estimates, analyst estimates on the upcoming earnings, it previously, as you can kind of even see right here, if I can highlight that, it was estimated to be at least based on 13 analysts, 0.009. So obviously rounding up to 1 cent. Do you see what recently happened? Now there's 14 analysts, so some probably raised their rates or their estimates, and one bullish one probably joined, but now it is 2 cents. So what are the chances of that? I don't know. You tell me. I think it's kind of early, but this isn't the first time Anthony has done something of this sort. So maybe if it is 2 cents. So I think if that is the case, then definitely things will be very epic. And as well, keep in mind, during Q1, most likely the member growth was phenomenal because A, they had fairly good competitive rates out there, so APY, and I think that in turn will incentivize investors to come. Plus, they did a lot of updates to their investing app. So I think generally speaking, member growth should come up. And plus, I think I brought up like a couple weeks ago, just based on the web traffic to SoFi was record levels. So that usually has insinuated and kind of worked out to be very accurate as a good indicator of member growth. And keep in mind, member growth goes up, deposits go up, everything goes up, products so I don't know. This is a very exciting earnings. So potentially, again, you could see some FOMO kicking in. We'll just have to wait and see. One more trading day left before all hell breaks loose, either in a very positive way or negative. But right here, shorts clearly are doubtful because they did increase 2.31 million shares. 18.68% of the free float is being shorted. 185.47 million shares overall are being shorted. You do still see that sign of manipulation. So cost to borrow minimum is negative. Cost to borrow average is 0.98, so a little bit more of an increase from yesterday. Yesterday randomly was very low for whatever, but utilization is 70.51. And looking at options though, a lot of money getting into SoFi today. So $5.06 million in calls, 3.21 million in puts. So I think overall fairly good stuff for that. You still do see this wall right here. So this column right here is the open interest. So at the 750, roughly around 20,000. And so obviously in the past, that's been more of a wall that market makers really don't want SoFi to kind of get above. But given all of the positive momentum that's in the broader market, I have a weird feeling that they're going to give up and start to cover near power hour tomorrow, causing a even more greater bump up in the stock price. That's just my interpretation, unless PCE does come out and it is absolutely horrific. Then maybe SoFi might have some difficulty. But beside the point, at the $8, you do see 24,000. So SoFi might struggle with that slightly. So some points to watch for going into tomorrow. So this is lucid, so you don't want to know about that. So looking at SoFi just on the technicals. So you do have this 775. So that's going to be a very strong resistance point that you'll want to watch for SoFi to get above tomorrow. And I feel like in reality, SoFi can get to that level. I don't know if it can get above that. It'll be dependent on a lot of the data points and the momentum at the time in the market. But logically, I think even going into SoFi's earnings, it should be in excess of $8, but what do I know? On the actual chart itself, it has successfully transitioned into the higher percentile, not really enough for it to get above that 50-day moving average. So again, that'll be tested tomorrow, no doubtably. You do see a nice bullish deviation, so white line above the red on stochastic, but like I said yesterday, it is considered somewhat neutral. So first sign of weakness, you are going to see a little bit more of a pullback. So it's not considered oversold anymore. So it doesn't have that safety net essentially. But number of retail investors, oddly enough, I don't know why, are getting out today. So maybe the whole GDP scared them too much and they were selling out, or maybe wanted to sell before the earnings, which doesn't logically make sense. But well, I don't know. If you were one of those individuals that did sell SoFi, let me know in the comments below on potentially why. I was this close to buying SoFi today, but I probably will go against my better judgment and actually buy. I did say that I was going to buy, if it ever was to get there, between the 650 to 680 range. Didn't really get there, came very close, I believe mid last week, but beside the point, I guess, I don't know. This is where FOMO kicks in, right? Because individuals like myself have a very good gut feeling that the earnings is once again going to be a triple beat, home run earnings, and causing, in theory, the stock price to go up. So this is how the mentality of FOMO kicks in, because then I buy at higher prices than what I normally would have. And then obviously if a lot of people do that, market makers will eventually cover those options. And then this is where you get a snowball effect. So that might actually happen tomorrow. Again, we'll just wait and see. Hopefully everyone had an amazing trading day. I think a lot of good buys out there in the market, but all in all, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up. And with all that, appreciate all of you watching.